Hey, is that folk music that you play there? What is that? How do you call that folk music?
I think it was Studs Terkel who asked Big Bill Brunzi, did he consider his blues music to be folk music? And Big Bill says, well, never heard no horses sing.
Don't hesitate. It could be your ticket to a new tomorrow.
Now, was you ever in Quebec? Bonnie laddie, heelin' laddie, dancing on a scented deck. Bonnie heelin' laddie, hey ho, and away we go. Bonnie laddie, heelin' laddie, hey ho, and away we go. Bonnie heelin' laddie. Now, was you ever in Halifax town? Bonnie laddie, heelin' laddie, staggering up and staggering down. Bonnie heelin' laddie, hey ho, and away we go. Bonnie laddie, heelin' laddie, hey ho, and away we go. Bonnie heelin' laddie. You ever in Miramichi? Bonnie laddie, heelin' laddie, lay a tie fast to a tree. Bonnie heelin' laddie, hey ho, and away we go. Bonnie laddie, heelin' laddie, hey ho, and away we go. Bonnie heelin' laddie. Now, was you ever in Baltimore? Bonnie laddie, heelin' laddie, dancing on a sanded floor. Bonnie heelin' laddie, hey ho, and away we go. Bonnie laddie, heelin' laddie, hey ho, and away we go. Bonnie heelin' laddie. Now, was you ever in Boston Bay? Bonnie laddie, heelin' laddie, eating codfish all the day. Bonnie heelin' laddie, hey ho, and away we go. Bonnie laddie, heelin' laddie, hey ho, and away we go. Bonnie heelin' laddie. Now, was you ever in Casco Bay? Bonnie laddie, heelin' laddie, eating lobsters all the day. Bonnie heelin' laddie, hey ho, and away we go. Bonnie laddie, heelin' laddie, hey ho, and away we go. Bonnie heelin' laddie, now hey ho, and away we go. Bonnie laddie, heelin' laddie, hey ho, and away we go. Bonnie heelin' laddie.
Thank you.
All right. My name is Ralph Litwin. The show is Horses Sing None of It, and our guest today is the Dave Rowe Trio,
That's us.
hailing from the great state of Maine.
It's the only state with one syllable.
Is that right?
It is. Think about it.
I'd have to think too long.
Yeah, we don't have that much time. There's 49 others, and they all have more than one syllable.
No kidding.
And we only are bordered by one other state. So it's all a ball. Only in Maine.
With Ed Howe on the fiddle,
How you doing?
making that thing sing there.
Oh, absolutely.
And the namesake, Dave Rowe, and Kevin O'Reilly. With a name like that, you're Irish, I guess.
More French than Irish, but yes.
More French than Irish.
From Maine, we're messed up, you know.
What else would you like to give us?
Oh, let's do one of our tunes. This is a song that I wrote when I woke up one morning, nearly 10 years ago now. I can't believe it's been that long. And I rolled over in bed, and there was another person looking back at me. And it happened to be my wife, and I went, whoa, I'm married. And then the kids ran by the bedroom, and I went, and there's kids. Where did these come from? And then I went downstairs, and I looked on the table, and there was my mortgage bill, and I said, all right, that's it. So I wrote a song called Home.
It's only a building, it's only a place, a shelter to hide from the battle or the race. It's a place I might go if I don't know what to do, but you know it's not a home without you. It's warmth from the fire to shake off the wind chill, a window many hours spent with elbows on the sill. It's a tapping on the rooftop that the rain just can't fall through, but you know it's not a home without you. Home is where the hugs are warm and where the words are kind. Home is clocks that strike the hour but never pass the time. There are many things a home could be, but still his words ring true. You know it's not a home without you. This life we've shared and how our ways have changed. And I wonder if the same holds true for you as sure for me. Would this home be home for you without me? Come on, all four of you sing it, come on. Home is where the hugs are warm and where the words are kind. Home is clocks that strike the hour but never pass the time. There are many things a home could be, but still his words ring true. You know it's not a home without you. Home is where the hugs are warm and where the words are kind. Home is clocks that strike the hour but never pass the time. There are many things a home could be, but still his words ring true. You know it's not a home without you. Yes, there are many things a home could be, but still these words ring true. You know it's not a home without you. Yeah, you know it's not a home without you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice song.
Thank you
Nice
so much.
playing and singing.
Thank you.
I take it, Dave, you came up in a musical homestead.
I did, at that. Actually, I'm third generation professional musician, much to my parents' chagrin. We've been there, son. You don't want, no, you really don't want it. You, all right, if you got to play the guitar. Okay, all right. They gave up. So, and I hope I have to give up for my kids too, so. It's a great bad habit, as bad habits go.
Good.
So, should we do a family song? I mean, other than that last one.
Sure.
We can do another one. This song, my great great-grandfather, he had an apple orchard back at the turn of the last century. And, you know, this was during the Prohibition days. And not a single drop piece of any of those apples ever made it into a pie because he had other intentions for them. But anyhow, he and his wife were on this portrait that hung in my dad's house through his entire life. My dad passed away 4 years ago now. It's amazing. Time does fly. But it was in my dad's house, and you know, it's one of those stern-looking photographs where no one looks particularly happy. But you know, from their occupation, obviously they were quite happy people. But I always wondered who those people were, and so I wrote this song about them. And then my dad said, "You know who those people were, don't you?" And I said, "No." And he said, "They were your great-great-great-grandparents." I said, "Cool. I'm glad I didn't know when I wrote the song, honestly, because it would have changed everything for me." But it's a song called Family Portrait, anyhow, and it's got sort of a bluegrass thing, so it's going to show off some bluegrass fiddling and things
Absolutely.
too. So here we go.
Take a long look at the picture in the parlor. One of fancy people from the past. Imagine how the pieces fit together. How families through the years just seem to last. And if you're born with all the answers, then there's nothing left to ask. So take a look at your reflection in the mirror of the past. You'll see it last. See the way great-grandpa's hands folded together. It's the way you fold your own when you're relaxed. You remember when you're young, time's not your master. Every day that passes by is looking back. And if you're born with all the answers, then there's nothing left to ask. So take a look at your reflection in your mirror of the past. You'll see it last. Shoot, Daddy, come on. I tell you, children, every minute is a treasure. Spend it well, leave not one lost in the slack. Send your smiles and take your joys in equal measure. Have no regrets, for that is time you can't get back. And if you're born with all the answers, then there's nothing left to ask. So take a look at your reflection in your mirror of the past. Yes, if you're born with all the answers, then there's nothing left to ask. So take a look at your reflection in your mirror of the past. You'll see it last. You'll see it last.
hot picking and hot fiddling and hot singing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we could use
All right.
a trifle of water after that one, but we'll make do.
Maybe Mike can pan over the some of your CDs we have here, and we'll give out the email address where people can get in touch with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, it's info@daverowetrio.com. And for more information, you can call 866-655-7171. You can also go to daverowmusic.com for more information about your touring schedule and more information on your recordings and so forth.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What would you like to do for us next?
Well, since we're from Maine, there's a heck of a lot of seashore there. We thought we'd do a maritime number. And this is one that we learned from Tommy Makem. I have a great story about that I wish I had time to tell. But if some people come to one of our shows someplace, they'll hear it, because I always like to tell this story before the song. But anyways, it's a song called The Mermaid. It's basically the story of a boat that spotted one. And as legend would have it, it sank because you can't spot a mermaid and live. So, no, I'm good.
You're
I'm
good?
It was Friday morn when we set sail, and we were not far from the land, when our captain he spied a mermaid so fair, with a comb and a glass in her hand. And the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below. Then up spoke the captain of our gallant ship, and a fine-spoken man was he. This fishy old mermaid has warned me of our doom, we shall sink to the bottom of the sea. And the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below.
And up spoke the first mate of our gallant ship, and a fine-spoken man was he. I have a wife back in Bethel town, and tonight a widow she will be.
And the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below. Come on in.
And up spoke the cabin boy of this gallant ship, and a fine young lad was he. I have a sweetheart up in Maine by the sea, and tonight she'll be weeping for me.
And the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below. Cook of our gallant ship, and a nasty old butcher was he. I care far more for my pots and my pans than I do for the bottom of the sea. And the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below. Then 3 times around spun our gallant ship, and 3 times around spun she. 3 times around spun our gallant ship, and she sank to the bottom of the sea. And the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds do blow, and we
skipping at the top, while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below. And the ocean waves do roll, and the stormy winds still blow, and we poor sailors are skipping at the top, while the landlubbers lie down below, 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 while the landlubbers lie down below.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, yeah.
You guys seem to be having too much fun.
Oh, there's never too much fun.
It's impossible. It's like garlic. You can't have too much of it.
He's absolutely right.
Never can have too much.
No.
Good. So how did you three fellas end up traveling around the country together, making music and having too much fun?
Oh, God. Well, I was traveling around with a band called Turkey Hollow with my father when he passed away, and left us rather suddenly, actually. He found out 2 months before he died that he had throat cancer, and the treatment was worse than the disease, as it turned out, and he left us. And I was, at that point, of course, heartbroken. What do I do? And I went to a jam up in Bethel, Maine, and Kevin O'Reilly here was playing bass at the jam session, and I liked the way he played, and I said, "Want to join a band?" And
Basically the same happened.
well, actually, no, it was less complicated than that with you, because I'd known you since you were like 12 years
Well,
old,
that's
and I
true.
knew you were good. And I thought to myself, 10 years ago, boy, when he's, 25, 30 years old, he's going to be scary. I want to form a band with that guy.
Yeah, I grew up playing bluegrass music, and then I joined a band called Wake the Neighbors with a fiddler from around this area, Lissa Schneckenberger, and we played for many, many years, and now I'm back playing somewhat of a mix of the Celtic and the bluegrass, and it's a
He's
lot of
home.
fun. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. What would you like to play for us now? I think we have time for one more number.
Let's do an instrumental. We haven't done anything instrumental so far, and we got a fiddle player in the band after all, so I think we deserve to do a fiddle tune or two. So we'll set up a medley of tunes. What do you say?
Sounds like a plan. Starting off with that set?
Go for it.
Thank you to the Dave Rowe Trio.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
Nice fiddling.
Wonderful to be here.
Thanks, Ralph.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, Ralph.
Pleasure, Kevin.
Beautiful.
Play a little.
Want to say something? Yep. All right.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor?
What shall we do with a drunken sailor?
What shall we